Year is finally halfway through. We are finally in July, and now I'm here to talk about my top 10 favorite movies of 2022 so far. Now, the best part about this discussion is making sure to leave your guys' top 10 down below. So far, I've seen about 86 new movies in 2022. Not as much as I've wanted to, but it has been definitely a busy year for me. But I'm very excited to talk about my top 10, and I can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts down below. If you guys are fans of movies and talking movies, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And without further ado, let's jump into this list. Coming down at my number 10 is Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. This film premiered on Disney Plus, and it is hands down the best Disney Plus original movie yet. A lot of them have been kind of cheesy, schlocky kind of messes, and in a sense, this actually feels like something that should have been in theaters, but sadly was not. But it was absolute delight in the way that the Lonely Island crew was able to really further out this development. And while it is very different than the original Rescue Rangers, this is a film that absolutely goes into that spiritual successor of Who Framed Roger Rabbit and absolutely made me love this. I love the cameos, I love all of that, but in the end of the day, I actually think the humor knitted throughout it with Chip and Dale themselves was absolutely great. This film probably will not stick into my top 10 for the rest of the year, but right now it is my number 10 spot, and I had such a blast with this movie. Plus the CGI, surprisingly, was actually pretty good. And spoilers if you have not seen the film, the ugly Sonic joke bit in here is still one of the best things ever. This is for pure movie lovers to absolutely have a blast at laughing at. And now at my number 9, we have Elvis. Now, I was late to the party. I didn't even get to do a review for Elvis other than just on social media, and for me, I thought this was phenomenal. But now, Baz Luhrmann for me has never been one of the directors that I've always sought after. I do really like his Great Gatsby adaptation, and I do need to go back and rewatch quite a few of his other films, but for me, Elvis is an important film in his filmography because this is one of his biggest passion projects, as well as Austin Butler showcases here why he is a phenomenal actor, embodying Elvis in almost every single way, and I think absolutely he is a lock for an Oscar nomination. If he is not nominated, I will be truly, utterly shocked. Tom Hanks, I think, is the weakest aspect of this film, but for me, as even though the length of this film is a little bit too long for me, you feel as exhausted as Elvis was in the back half of his life, and really much the feeling of how Elvis was in his entire career. I love this movie wholeheartedly. It is stylistic, it is very weird and wacky, and it is very much Baz Luhrmann, but there is this exaggerated, exhausting feeling that you get watching this film that is very entertaining at the same manner, and I loved Elvis so much. On my number 8, a lot of people are probably going to be like, seriously, he thinks this is in his top 10. I don't think this film will stay in my top 10, but I loved Thor: Love and Thunder. This is hands down one of my favorite films of the year for many different reasons, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, why? For me, it's something with Taika Waititi's writing and directing that I just didn't get the same feeling from Thor Ragnarok like so many other people did. Now, while yes, the screaming goats can get kind of annoying in this, and some of the humor, I feel like it doesn't hit, but it doesn't bother me. Because for me, every dramatic moment that Taika Waititi decides to put into this and pour into this film, there's not a little bit of humor that rectifies or destroys that moment. Whereas Thor Ragnarok, I always felt like there was a moment to that. For instance, there's two scenes in particular, two of my favorite scenes of the entire year for Thor: Love and Thunder, and both of them involve Jane Foster and Thor themselves. One on a boat, of them just talking, and Thor saying, I want to feel shitty about something, which I love that, because that is a complete true feeling that so many people in our world want to feel about. And then a second ending, the whole entire ending part, like leading up to the final fight between Gore and Thor, and also leading into everything and all the ramifications that happen after that, and how important those moments are. Those things mean the world to me, and I love why this film is called Thor: Love and Thunder, what the love and thunder is and what it all ties into. And I think Taika Waititi really much poured a ton of heart into this film in such a daring way that a lot of people have been giving Taika a little shit lately. I think if you, honestly, I don't get the hate on this movie, but I will understand if you say you didn't like this movie. I truly love Thor: Love and Thunder, and that's my little rant and ramble on my defending of this film. Now, at my number 7, we have Cha Cha Real Smooth. This is a movie that came out of truly nowhere. I still really appreciate what Cooper Raiff was able to do with this previous ever shithouse, but I think this is a better film in almost every single way, whether it's Cooper's writing, Cooper's directing, or specifically even his acting, and also Dakota Johnson's acting. Really much this movie is a film that is for people who jumped right out of college or right out of high school and you're wondering, what is my next point of life? Where am I going to go? I wanted to do this, but now I'm not doing this. Okay, so what am I able to do now in my life? And for me, Cha Cha Real Smooth dives into that, performs it in such a manner, and I was thoroughly entertained with this film at the same time of feeling very emotional to it. It felt very relatable to me, specifically where I am at in my life right now, and I love Cha Cha Real Smooth for all of that. This is streaming on Apple TV right now. Absolutely go watch it. But now we're at my number 6, and another film that many people are not really much loving as much as I am, but just so you understand, if you can see behind me, I'm a giant Toy Story fan. So Lightyear is at my number 6. Now, this is a movie that the more I look on it, I kind of do wish it wasn't tied into the Toy Story franchise in a way, and also specifically, the marketing could have done a better job. The first trailer should have said, in 1995, Andy saw a movie that made him want to buy a Buzz Lightyear toy. This is that movie. I think they could have done a better job marketing the overall film for people to understand what was going on, why they didn't go with Tim Allen, why they got Chris Evans. And I think overall Chris Evans did a really good job doing the same mannerisms as Tim Allen would have, because this is a completely different Buzz than the one we get in the toy. And just looking at the sci-fi nature of this all, I think this film is almost perfect, specifically in the way that it handles time and handles our regrets and what happens when we feel those regrets, what happens when we lose time to round people on us, and how can we justify that? What do we do with those decisions that happen? And I like how human and how much humanity this film really builds, specifically in the first 30 minutes, that then leads into a really fun sci-fi adventure that also has a great twist in it that, you know, while I saw something coming in that manner, I didn't see how it would. With everything with Zurg and Lightyear itself and the action, the animation is spectacular. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. If you still have not seen it, I do very much recommend it. And if you disagree with me, that is completely okay too, but I really love this film, specifically in the way that they were able to direct and really bring about some new levity to it all. Of course, guys, that's only my first 5 picks. We do have 5 more to go through, but I do want to give you guys some honorable mentions for films that I really did like, but it didn't happen to be in my top 10. One of this is Men, Alex Garland's brand new horror film. After Yang was a phenomenal film that I got to see at Sundance that I really recommend. A24's X is a really good horror film that just continues to build on me the more and more I think about it. Aubrey Plaza has a new film coming out called Emily the Criminal, which is a really good crime drama that I recommend. Turning Red, I really enjoyed as well. Finally got to see The Worst Person in the World. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Fresh is also fantastic. Scream 5 was enjoyable. Adam Sandler and Hustle was fantastic, and the last one I want to give is The Outfit. You will most likely hear about this film towards the end of the year when I do my top 10 most underrated films of the year, so just keep that one in mind. Absolutely go check it out. It's again called The Outfit, and it's streaming now. On my number 5, we have The Northman. This is absolutely Robert Eggers' best film yet, and that's saying a lot, specifically because how enjoyable The Lighthouse is and how damn good The Witch is. And I love The Northman for a lot of different reasons, specifically in the way that the cinematography, the story, and everything that Robert Eggers was able to bring into it. It's a film that absolutely had my jaw on the floor from its stunning cinematography towards the third act, and specifically in the way that he framed every single sequence. This is a very meticulously crafted drama and very much grand Viking epic that you truly come to love. I love The Northman, and specifically some of the stuff Robert Eggers decided to do with the night scenes are so memorable. This is a movie that I love going back to, love recommending to people, and it's one of my favorites of the year. Now at my number 4, we have Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. This is based off the short film that many people loved back in the day on YouTube, and now it is getting its own feature-length film, and it's starting to expand to more theaters. This is an A24 movie, and I got to see it at a film festival back in April, and I could not stop thinking about this film. It is one of the best movies of the year, hands down. And if you just need something to go and laugh and enjoy and smile and just absolutely just feel delighted by it in every single way, Marcel the Shell is the film to see this summer, as well as just in general in 2022. It is the most heartwarming, hilarious film of this year, and I don't think anything will ever beat this. This is one of A24's finest movies, and it is a family film at its heart, and it's in a way A24's first family film, so absolutely you can take your entire family to go enjoy this. It's not totally weird. It's filmed all in a mockumentary style about a talking shell with shoes on and their life, and it's actually really poignant to everything going on in our world. So absolutely go watch this. Oh, my number 3, we have Everything Everywhere All at Once. This is a movie, like my 1, 2, and 3 could easily shift at any point in time. Everything Everywhere All at Once was such a grand surprise, and it is a masterpiece. This is one of the best films I have seen in the last couple of years. In fact, my 1 through 3 would have been in my top 10 of last year and probably been my 1 through 3 from last year, because these are some of the best films I've seen in quite a while. And there's something about this movie with such a style and flair that the Daniels were able to create and put into it. And it's really much a story that deals with the multiverse, and specifically in everything that we're seeing going on in Marvel right now, but in a very unique way that is hilarious, it's weird, it's comedic, but it's at the same time action-packed. And it's a film that has so many different genres and themes to it. It's a drama at times, it's a comedy, it's an action thriller, it's an action adventure, it's a sci-fi. All these weird themes and tones work. It's like you put them all in a bottle and you just shake it up and you get this weird thing that on paper, I can't imagine how grand the script is, but just when you tell someone the idea of it, you think this is not going to work, but it does, because of seamless direction, because of fantastic performances from literally everyone, and fantastic writing. This is one of the best films of the year. If you have still not seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, you can go buy it now, you can rent it now. This is a must-see film. Put your phone down and enjoy the hell out of this. And I want to say this, every time I've seen this film in theaters, the best part about it is like I would buy tickets like way in advance, and then I'd go in and the theater sold out. That's how damn good this movie is. And speaking of sold out stuff still, at my number 2, it is Top Gun Maverick. This is a masterpiece. This is better than the original in almost every single fathomly way. Whether it's the action, the characters, all of those things, this is a film that builds off that 80s nostalgic joyride that you get from the original and builds to be one of the best sequels ever created. Top Gun Maverick is a must-see in theaters, and it is a movie that has continued to sell out week to week. At times, if you try to just pick like at this point in time, like if you were to go and see like Thor Love and Thunder at like 11 o'clock at night, you'd probably be able to find a seat. But even looking at Top Gun Maverick, anytime you try to do that, I've had friends who still have not been able to see this movie because they're the type that try to buy it last minute. They have to buy it ahead of time. And even trying to buy it ahead of time, there's still seats bought. This is one of the most rewatchable movies you can see, and sadly, I've only been able to see it once. I want to see this movie again. I have not had the time to see it. Tom Cruise is phenomenal. Miles Teller is great. Glenn Powell is absolutely a star in the making for this. I love this movie, and I think Joseph Kosinski finally gets the love for his direction. This is one of the best movies. I don't even know how you do a sequel that would be even better than this, but if Tom Cruise has an idea and he wants to bring the same team together, then let him be. But at my number 1, it is The Batman. There's something about Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves' vision for this entire world that absolutely was my most anticipated film of all time, and it absolutely met those expectations, and I cannot wait to see where they take this vision next. While this is a 3-hour epic that continues to span a story that is not your typical comic book film, but it is one of the most gratifying and one of the most poignant pieces when it comes to an adaptation from a Batman comic series. Batman is a detective in the comics. He's not just all about the action and everything of that nature, and we've never really seen the detective side of Batman in films before until now. And the Batman excels in each and every one of the ways that it's able to exceed its expectations while as well giving you a poignant story that makes you very intrigued. And especially watching it from every single time I've rewatched this movie. I've seen it about 5 times now. There's always something new I pick up on, whether it's something from the Riddler side or something new attention detail that Matt Reeves puts into the city of Gotham, because this is one of the best interpretations of Gotham City. And the fact that Robert Pattinson is very much not even really playing Bruce Wayne in here. He is the Batman. He hates the Bruce Wayne persona. He only thinks being Batman. And in general, how this is not just the origin tale to the second year of Batman, but it is the origin story to what does Batman represent to the city of Gotham, to its people, to its villains, to its criminals, to the police, all that nature. It is what is he symbolizing. And by the very end, when you finally get to the point that he needs to be the symbol of hope for these people and not just the symbol of pain and taking out his grievance, there's a beautiful poetic arc all told throughout the story. While the length is very long, it is a movie that I adore, and it is absolutely hands down still my favorite for 2022. Guys, that's gonna be my top 10 favorite films of 2022 so far. Thank you so much again for watching this. You guys are really all the best. Make sure to leave your thoughts down below in the comment section, as well as hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoy content like this. Head on over to Samtron Films on how to see movies early, and look out for another couple movie reviews coming up very soon. So if you're enjoying all those, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button once again. But of course, until next time, stay classy.